liberty and justice for all.
Kelly, if you could do roll call, please.
Larry Fiddler,
Here.
Greg J, Brandon Tanker,
Here.
Bryce Howell,
Here.
Scott Stierwald.
Here.
All right, is there any additions or deletions to tonight's agenda?
Mr. President, could I add professional services under whatever you feel is most appropriate?
Professional services under new business, we'll call that item D.
Super.
Okay.
Marshall, K-9 contract.
Okay, so under town marshal, we're going to add item K-9 contracts. And Kelly?
If you could remove item 8C, it's ordinance 2023-15.
Let's see, move. Okay. Anybody else? Okay, can I get a motion for the additions and deletions?
Motion.
Second?
Second.
Thank you, all in favor?
Aye.
All right, approval of the November 14th, 2023 regular meeting, is there a motion on that?
Motion.
Thank you, second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye, thank you. All right, Kelly?
All right, claims and transfers from the general, $542,079.81.
Is there a motion for that?
Motion.
Thanks, second?
Second.
Thank you, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
From water, $78,742.99.
Motion.
Thank you, second?
Second.
Thank you, all in favor?
Aye.
From wastewater, $2,634,182.83.
Motion.
Thank you, second?
Second.
Thank you, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
From payroll, $53,886.15.
Is there a motion on that one?
Motion.
Thank you, second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
The last claim I have on there, it's an invoice, and you all had approved this already, but I just wanted to point out to you, and I brought it back to you. When they delivered the furniture, there was a small manufacturing defect on the top of my desk. They sent me some markers, I colored it in, you couldn't even notice it anymore, and so they took $350 off the price of the desk for keeping it. So this new invoice, which is number 71290, is actually cheaper than you approved the first time.
That's in the packet.
Yes.
I think it's actually listed twice on the packets.
Yeah, one of them is like a new quote showing that it's kind
Oh,
of price,
okay.
and the second
Yeah,
one is the
okay.
invoice.
Motion.
I'll second.
Thank you, all in favor?
Aye.
Okay.
As most of you know, we're losing Sam Fogel. He got hired in Montana as a police officer. We need to resolve the K-9 contract that we have with him, retroactive back to December 7th, which was the last day of service for the K-9.
I will add to that as well that that date does reflect the coverage on behalf of the town as insurance as well to this, the 7th of December. So if somebody or a council member would like to make a motion on eliminating or terminating the K-9 contract.
The only question I have is if we backdate to the 7th, if something happens, he takes that dog in tomorrow and this is, vet determines it's been going on for 2 weeks. If we backdate it to the 7th, is the town still liable or are we good?
So if we backdate to the 7th, he goes to the doctor tomorrow.
Yeah, the doctor says he's had it for 3 days. The vet signs off, he's had it for 3 days.
That would be a question for our insurance company. And the other there's a lot of what ifs there. And we get our own vet to say, no, it was not.
And I will say, and Adam, back me up if I'm incorrect, but as far as we know, the dog is healthy.
Correct. And it hasn't been on the road since December 7th, the day before the insurance went away.
When does he start out west?
I don't know what his start date is out there. His last day with us is the 22nd.
So,
Just the dogs got it on the seventh.
Yeah.
so dog hasn't been on the road since the seventh. Basically, he is terminated his employment last seventh.
Correct.
But my guess is if there was a situation where it was a condition that was occurring prior to the termination, it would be covered by the plan.
I'm
If
just,
it
I'm
happened
just asking.
tomorrow, it would be covered, but if it was something that started prior to December 7th, it should be covered by the plan.
It's not gonna cost us that much though, is it, to go ahead and keep that insurance until his termination date, 22nd?
Well, you'd probably have to read.
It's already expired.
Oh, it's
It
expired.
expired on the seventh.
Yeah.
Okay,
That's just
okay.
why I'm asking.
Okay, that's fine.
I've been involved with enough livestock where they say, well, it was,
Pre-existing.
yeah. So,
And in his last 2 weeks, he's got a lot going on to try to wrap up. The K-9 doesn't need to be part of it.
Well, then I'll make a motion.
So this is a motion for termination of the current K-9 contract as of the 7th of December.
Correct.
Is there a second?
Second.
Thank you. All in favor?
Aye.
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 Also, First National Bank gave us a generous donation the other day to reunify or uniform our department. He asked that it be used strictly for uniforms, which Kelly is aware of. So we appreciate them. And we received our chili fund, Chili Fest check the other day for just over 14,000. So
Very good.
the community and the people putting it on done an amazing job. We got a lot of things in the works that we're gonna be utilizing this money for. It's gonna be vehicle maintenance and new cameras and stuff like that, so we appreciate it.
Well, I want to say one thing. Gary Neese and his team at First National, they're doing some stuff at the arena as well. What they're doing for the community right now is really cool, so.
I agree. And that's all I got.
Thanks. Jason?
I'll be quick. The first thing we have is wellhead protection. At the last meeting, we discussed wellhead protection. We had a contract and you asked me to communicate with another engineer and did speak with another engineering firm. And they, at that point, recommended that we should, this is such a small contract, that we should probably just continue on with the contractor that, or the engineer that is currently doing our water. I did communicate that with Brandon. The same day I had that conversation, and he suggested that we proceed with HWC because of the small size of this contract. I did talk, and secondly, because we have to have this submitted to IDEM by the 27th of December. So that's a timeliness and recommendation from another engineering firm, and because of the size of the contract, we had that conversation, we went ahead and asked HWC to proceed with that work. If you have any questions, I can answer on that. So I can continue, Eagle Club Road, as you see, work is in the process. The water line, the 10-inch water main from 231 all the way up to where it turns to go back to the water tower. It has been installed. My understanding is that there may be a small issue with that line. We're trying to, did not pass the pressure
Yeah,
test.
their first attempt at the pressure test did fail, so they've got they either have a leak or an issue with their testing process, so.
We'll find out there. The last they were doing was connecting the three businesses to that water line, but hopefully that's gonna be wrapped up. The pipe's in the ground, so
Which three are going to be connected though?
it's the Marathon, the Mexican restaurant, and the carpet store are the three, so, they shouldn't use that service for, but just for, hour or two. And then but immediately after that project is done, they are going to start on the road project itself. That was just the water project that was separate from the road. So they will be starting on the road project, curbs, stormwater. And I did talk to them, they even think that we might get asphalt even, that my understanding is there's an Indianapolis plant, and Eric, you might know this, I don't know, that it's gonna be staying open through the winter, is what I'm told, provided weather's not real
That's
cold.
news to me, but that could be the case with all the highway work going on.
Yeah, that's what the contractor told me on, I believe it was Friday, Thursday or Friday last week, that they think the plants may stay open.
We still want to watch the temperature when we're laying it.
Sure.
So worst case, is we finish the construction, but the asphalt is not completed until springtime
Yeah.
on Beagle Club.
Correct. Stormwater, they're still gonna do stormwater curbs, all that stuff. It's just, the only thing that may take till spring would be the asphalt.
And
Depending
they
on
would
the
have all their
temperature.
base in that essentially you could drive on it, just waiting on the pavement.
Any questions about Beagle Club? 54 North Lafayette Street. That is the property that the town had a lien against, went through commissioner's sale. Jim Inslee, the county attorney, did submit that to the courts to have the courts deed that to the county commissioners. So we do have the court order, I think I sent that to you, Brandon, showing that that has occurred. So the commissioners are in ownership of that. They are going to be sending us the quick claim with that. They were waiting on one commissioner to sign off on the sales disclosure. So I don't know if that's happened yet. I've not spoken to Jim. It was last week when I talked to him. But it is in the county's hands, and they do intend to quit claim it to the town. So I'm going to say within the next few days, the town will have full ownership of 54th North Lafayette. At that point, the council can decide what purpose we're going to have with ownership.
Total side note to council members on that property, in relation to the project to town hall parking lot, could be a potential site for the recycling bin that will be relocated eventually. Just food for thought, sorry. Carry on.
Any further questions about that, or? Next thing is we have the stormwater project. Eric is here, he can talk about the stormwater project. And if the council wants, we can include the water and wastewater projects each month. If Eric's here, he can report on those as well. I mean, that's totally up to you. We haven't put them on the agenda, but that is something we can add in the future if you'd like. Or if you'd like to report on it tonight, he can report on water and wastewater as well.
I think a quick update, it never hurts, right?
Sure.
And then, are we gonna have Eric talk about the labor standards as well?
No, he's really not involved with that. He may have comment on it, but.
Okay,
I can tell you why it's required.
perfect,
Yeah,
if you don't mind.
On the water, I think Jason covered Beagle Club Road, which is essentially phase one of the water that was ready funded. Phase two, we have applied for our permits. That is the section that goes across I-70 and up to 31 North. And we developed preliminary drafts of easements. So the next step is to get easements. And once we have those in hand and permits, we'll be able to bid that. We're targeting early spring to get that out for bid for construction. On the wastewater, we got all the contracts signed actually in November, closed on the financing with the state revolving fund, and Reynolds is going to move in and start working right up the first of the year. There was discussion about starting some of the sewer lining in December, but being that that hasn't started yet, I don't think that's going to happen. So I think we'll start in January. We will be having monthly progress meetings throughout that project. So I'll be able to give a report from the monthly progress meeting that we have with the contractor and the town staff of progress, and then we'll have a request to approve at those meetings as well. So there'll be a lot of activity starting on that after the first of the year. And then on stormwater, all our surveys done, there are several sites across town that are in that stormwater project that is Okra funded. We've got a $600,000 Okra grant. With our surveying done, we had a kickoff meeting with Jason and staff in November, and we are working towards getting preliminary design done. We'll review that with the town, and we're looking at getting that out to bid in February. So that project will be in construction this spring and summer as well. So there'll be a lot of activity in town.
So we should have preliminary numbers in January.
We'll have preliminary plans.
So perfect. Okay.
One thing with that, we did finally have communication with DNR. They emailed with that last
Yes.
week sometime to start negotiations with DNR with regards to the
Maintenance agreement and agreements between the town and DNR with respect to maintenance and operations of the facilities that will remain on their facility. Obviously, there will be financial implications in that agreement, because the town will likely be helping with some of that operation. So that it'll be a negotiation process. We've got time to get through it, but at least the lines of communication are starting to get that ball rolling. I guess I did neglect to mention the labor standards on the wastewater.
Yep, so the reason, Council, I'm asking Eric to talk about this is it is on the agenda. You will see an invoice in your packet for it. So I just want Eric to kind of highlight as to why the town of Cloverdale is receiving that invoice.
When all of the projects that are funded through the Indiana Finance Authority State Revolving Fund, they require prevailing wages to be paid on those projects. And in order to verify that the contractor is paying the appropriate wages to their workers, they require an officer to do payroll interviews with the workers, verify that they're making the proper amount, and they have to submit that paperwork to the State Revolving Fund to document that the proper wages are being paid. We suggested that Mike Kleinpeter, who is your grant administrator for the Okra grant, he will be doing the same type of thing for the stormwater grant, so it makes sense. He's already going to be doing it for that contractor. So there were non-construction funds in the wastewater project budget to cover this. So that will cover the cost of Mike Kleinpeter doing the labor standards for the wastewater project. And that'll just be him meeting with the Reynolds and all their subcontractors on a monthly basis and submitting that paperwork to the state.
And Jason, that is the Western sorority company, correct?
No. It'd be Mike Kleinpeter.
That's, what you're looking at is for bonding. This is,
Oh, he may have a bond or something.
he's looking at something different in the packet. That's for the public official bond. This is the agreement for professional labor standards services. You should have a contract in there.
No, I'm not seeing that.
I apologize, I didn't get in there. I have a paper copy if you'd like to look at it.
Are there any questions for Eric? In regards to stormwater or wastewater, or this labor standards invoice that council is going to be asked to approve?
The only thing I'm gonna ask you, I'm correct in the Stardust Road east of the arena.
Correct.
That got left out.
Correct. Although there have been discussions, I assume next time stormwater board meets, that will be.
It's getting back as well.
It was on the PER that we did.
It was originally on the correct, then it got left out. I was just curious. I couldn't remember if it got left out or if it didn't.
I would say that's gonna be high on the priority list for the stormwater board. I mean,
Yeah.
They wanted to fund it last time, it was just lack of funds.
No, I get that. I wasn't 100% sure.
Kelly, while council's reviewing this, do we need to have a motion and approval on the wellhead contract?
I think, oh, yes.
Because I noticed that got skipped. So going back up to item 1 for the wellhead protection plan, to have HWC continue with that project, can I get a motion on that?
So move.
Second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. And then that will bring us, once council reviews this labor standards invoice, I will be asking for a motion if there are no questions on it.
Kelly, do you have that original contract? Or, oh, is it? Okay, they got it, okay, I didn't realize it was in there.
Yeah, no, I didn't see it, that's what I said.
I think we're good.
Okay, thanks.
Thank you, sir.
And Brandon, did you want me to divide that like 3 different sections in the future, or how do you want to, Kelly and I? Or
If he's here, I say we just knock it out.
Okay,
Why he's up instead of having him getting up and sitting down.
okay, we'll do that, Kelly.
All right, any questions from council in regards to the labor standards contracts? If not, looking for a motion.
Motion.
Okay.
Second.
Thank you. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. And Kelly, it brings us back to you.
Okay. Right, you have all the monthly reports in your packet. Revenue, we did receive our second installment of property taxes for this year, so we do have all our revenue for that. And it was very close to what we were expecting, so all that is good. Yeah, Adam made mention of the generous donations we've got for the police department, so that was wonderful. Appropriations, they look good for the end of the year. There's 2 lines that need corrected, and you'll see that later on the agenda. There's a transfer resolution, and basically that's for MVH restricted. We're just moving it between series. When I budgeted, that money is for the community, one of the community crossings projects, but when I budgeted it, I budgeted in the wrong line item, so it just needs moved to the correct one. The other item that's gonna need fixed is in public safety. The police comp time payout had been depleted, and so we're moving some money from their repair and maintenance just underneath that up to cover that. They had some extra there. Other than that, it looks good. Then you do have in your packets the public official bonds for 2024. So that is, it's myself, the deputy clerk, the utility clerk, and then there's a blanket bond for redevelopment. And those are, we have those every year. I learned that they need to be presented to council and approved before I record them at the courthouse. So that's why they're in your packets this year.
That's the Western Surety Company, right?
Yes.
So if there are no questions for Kelly on this, looking for a motion and ultimate approval.
Motion. Second.
Thank you. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
The next is a contract for local government services. This is local government resources. This is the consulting firm that I use. This is Susie Bass and Janet Alexander. Susie Bass does our reconciling every month. She looks over everything that we do as a bank rec, make sure everything's done right. And Janet helps with mostly budgeting, and they are both on call for just any random questions that I might need. They had been a part of another company, and probably about a year ago, they broke off from that and started their own company. And this is a new contract for their company specifically, and of course, they are raising rates. So that's in there as well. But I'm bringing this for your approval. They're definitely an invaluable resource to me.
What is the amount of that contract?
It's $150 an hour. Currently, it's $120 an hour. It's going to $150 an hour. And they do have a clause in there where every year it will increase. I think 10% is the percentage.
Do you know off the top of your head how much we spent with them last year?
Oh, I don't. Suzie,
That's fine.
yeah, I mean, we spend it's usually about 1 to 3 hours a month for reconciling. I think Janet, in total, we maybe spend, I don't know, 500 to 1,000 roughly maybe per year. So thankfully, it's a lot less than when I first started.
Right. You know a little bit more than you did when you started.
Yeah.
It's basically just a dot i's cross t's.
Yes,
More or
it's,
less.
yes, and she does the bank rec, so basically she looks over everything that's done, make sure everything's right, make sure everything balances, and she'll catch any mistakes that were made. But thankfully, our bank recs are pretty smooth.
That also helps with our auditing, that we have another set of eyes checking everything.
That's like,
As far as
it's a third party, so if stuff goes south,
Yes.
she could be liable.
I'm sure there's probably another one between the attorneys.
Well, You're an attorney, so I'm asking.
Oh, that's what I'm saying.
It's not like.
If the attorneys will wait
down
down.
their job. Everybody's done their job.
Have you seen this?
Yeah, it was in the packet.
No, yeah, but no issues?
Yeah.
First of all, any other questions for Kelly on this one? For that amount of money, or lack of, I think is a better term, somebody want to make a motion?
So moved.
Thank you. Second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
All right, the other thing, this is kind of some fun stuff that I get to talk about. So we've been talking about, all these different projects every month. And I thought it would be interesting to put together a little paper, and this is not your packet, council, but I've given you the paper in front of you, the total project cost. So this is a list of all the different projects that the town has got going on or has completed. There's the total project cost for each of those, how much we've received from other sources and grant money, and how much the town has paid. And we have about, now granted, these numbers are estimates because these projects have not been all completed yet. They're still in the works, but these are pretty close estimates. So we've got about $14 million worth of projects going on or that have been completed. And the cost to the town for those projects is $4.7 million. The rest of it, the $9.3 million, has come from grants and just other sources. The county, Hendricks Regional Health, Ready Money, SRF, INDOT, IFA, there's a lot of sources. And I think that number's pretty incredible, and I think that speaks well of our town manager, because every project, he never comes to me with a project without funding sources, or I'm gonna try to get, I think we can get this grant, or I think maybe this group will help us pay for it. So a big thanks to him and his efforts, and also kudos to the town council for being future thinking for the town, being not willing to spend just willy-nilly, but being careful what we're spending and look to the future and making sure the projects that we do are coming at minimal cost to the town as well.
So I want to say two things. Number one, there's a lady that comes to the arena a lot and is an engineer, does exactly what Lauren and them are doing, Lauren and Eric are doing. She has spoken so highly about Jason, it isn't even funny, and has dealt with him in the past, so Jason, thank you. But also, you too, Kelly, like, this is a big deal, and I think the community and everyone needs to be aware of that. So to both of you, great job.
Keep my two ready two.
Huh?
Ready two's coming out, so there'll be more opportunities.
But,
Thank you for putting that together.
that's cool.
That's a real eye.
Very
This is fabulous for the town of Cloverdale. This is good stuff.
Great job to both of you.
All right, anything else?
That's it for me, sorry.
Thank you, no, you're fine. Okay, ordinance 2023-9, that is the second reading on the salary ordinance. If there are no questions, would somebody like to make a motion?
Motion.
Thank you, second.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. And this moves us to ordinance 2023-14. This is the second reading on this one as well for the park grant fund. Again, if there are no questions, Bryce has made a motion, looking for second.
Second.
Thank you, all in favor? Aye. Resolution 2023-1, this is a transfer resolution that Kelly kind of alluded to earlier. If there are no questions, looking for a motion on that?
Motion.
Thank you, second.
Second.
Thank you, all in favor?
Aye.
And resolution 2023-22, this is the refund resolution.
Motion.
Thank you, second.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Thank you. All right, council, it's been a few months since we've talked about this. This is in relation to the Ridgewood Apartments. Earlier in the week, Jason sent us an email. Bear with me. Look for that. On Wednesday the 6th, he sent the email with the last readings. As council hopefully recalls, we decided to give the complex a few months to see if the readings would go back down to normal range. And Jason provided us the August, September, October, November, and December billings. And as far as gallons and what their current balance is, including the December bill. Also, he did make mention, council did approve on forfeiting the late fees. So at this time, I'm opening it up for discussion to council, because we do have to make a decision if we want to offer this customer a payment plan, number one, to get them caught up. So what does that payment plan look like? Number two, if we don't want to offer them a payment plan and hold them accountable as is, again, I'm going to open it up to council for discussion. Jason as well, if you want to chime in. Kelly, please. I'm going to say my view, my opinion on this matter is if we open this, if we offer this customer a payment plan, that opens up the town, I think, to other customers coming to us very frequently for payment plans. In the best interest of the town, it is my opinion that we don't offer this customer a payment plan due to what I just elaborated on.
Was there a leak? Did we determine if it was a leak or not?
It was definitely not an underground leak. I suspect the owner of the building believes it's probably a toilet. I find it hard to believe a leaky toilet would go through that many gallons. That's continuous running water. It's not just a flat water.
My opinion is the payment plan, I agree with Brandon completely. What I want to know is why we went from 84,500 gallons in August to 228,500 gallons in September. Then October, November, December, we're back in normal range, 29 to 23 gallons. Something was going on, and if the town can say for sure it's not on our end, correct?
We know it went through the meter.
Well, then,
So the way it looks is the issue on the customer side started in August, maybe even in July. And it reached peak when it was noticed there in September, rectified by the end user, and then brought their normal readings back down to their in range,
who's running the speakers in this place?
into their normal readings.
We do have and I wasn't prepared for this, but we do have a payment plan policy. Kelly, do you know what that is? I wasn't prepared.
Yeah, and I'm sorry, I didn't look it up either, but it is an ordinance that we have authority to do a payment plan. I'm not sure that it's specified. I think it's one that's agreed upon between the utility office and the customer.
We have,
And you can make it, it's typically short term, it's not extended out for very long, but it's a short term instead.
Typically, those are residential bills that may be $80 or something like that. Obviously, this is in the thousands. That's one reason we're bringing it to you.
We have done payment plans for extenuating circumstances before.
They figure out what it was, they thought it was a toilet?
They say that's the only thing that was repaired.
Well, if we approved that it is not on our end,
No, but we, as Kelly said, there's precedent already, which was, I think what our president was fear of, is create a precedent. But that precedent's already been said that we have allowed in the past.
I get that.
Yeah.
So, here's my opinion, and I don't know what July was, but obviously went from 84.5 to 228.5. Then for the last 3 months, we've been to the 29 to 23 range, which is acceptable. My personal opinion is if we do have something that says we do payment plans, add those up, or, well, take the $4,979.62, put it on a 6-month payment plan. That's my opinion.
I think we need to, before we go spouting off that or any figures, we need to know what the ordinance says. I don't want to table this another month, but I think we have to make sure we have our ducks in a row and we understand fully what is currently in place for payment plans. So,
Is that something you want us to get for you tonight, or do you want, or is it possible you pass a, or that you vote on something that would give us the authority to?
we,
How long would it take you to go get the ordinance quick and read it? I'm just asking,
Maybe 2 minutes.
are you guys good with that?
Are you looking it up on your phone?
No, I know you're gonna find it in 2 seconds.
Then we can put it to bed, in my opinion.
start the clock.
You got the Jeopardy music.
This isn't the way you run a meeting, is it?
No,
Buddy.
it's okay.
Here's a small agenda.
Well, and by their own admission, if it was a toilet, we did have to pay to treat it.
Right.
It did hit the
So it's due
wastewater.
us.
Yeah.
It's due us.
Yeah.
I wasn't arguing, or in the email that we reduced the bill. It's just how they did it.
Right.
When I read the email, I automatically thought that they had a leak outside.
Yeah, so I feel very confident that they said it wasn't sanitary. The only thing they said
I think it was.
I don't know what the one there.
But it happened twice.
But I just find it hard to believe that
What was the price?
goes through.
Yeah, it's been wide open.
Oh, it happened.
Yeah. And how that was
It
done.
was like thinking of,
What me, I promise.
It could be, if we.
I'm gonna check on her here real quick.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Also, the tenant doesn't care. They're not paying the water bill, they don't care.
You signed these yet?
Payment plan.
Yeah, it's when they've been.
Technology.
2 minutes, so start signing them fast.
That's just a big jump. If we prove it on our end, it's not us.
Yeah, we're not doubting that they owe the money. I don't think they're doubting they owe the money. They were first asking for an adjustment. I said I doubt that that's going to happen, but hopefully that's your decision, not mine.
Well, we can't let their poor management
Cost the town money.
have any bearing on our decision, because obviously, if the toilet was leaking which it happened to be a leak, or toilets, then I think it's something that.
My only concern is.
I'd like to go back and get 2 or 3 months back on my rental if I could then.
My concern would be, and I don't know if we found if we were to say that we're going to deal with pay points, and we shut them off, that's what we typically have, and we've got 8 tenants without utilities.
Here's a,
And
we're
they're
granted though.
You're talking.
Check with Kelly.
Okay.
not the best guys.
So here's, interesting tidbit for you. Under section 50.45. Customers who are unable to pay their utility bill and due date are encouraged to contact the utility clerk to arrange a mutually agreed upon payment plan, with the goal of payment plan being bring the customer's account current. Okay, the utility clerk has a right to reject proposed payment plan if it is determined it does not achieve the goal of bringing the customer's account current within a reasonable amount of time. Please note upon property owner's written request, no payment arrangements will be made, and the bill will be due full by the assigned shut-off date. Now, that's payment plans on utilities.
All right, sorry about that. That obviously is not typical of
But the fun part is,
the way we
do,
run our meetings.
I was just telling Mr. President that we do allow payment plans falling behind, but if you look under the section regarding leaks, which I have lost in my scrolling and looking at you, we don't allow payment plans.
So if council will look in their packets, it's been, ordinance 2016-18's been, Kelly just put it in our packets, and you go to section 11, under payment plans. The utility clerk has a right to reject a proposed payment plan if it is determined it does not achieve the goal of bringing customers' account current within a reasonable amount of time. Please note upon property owner's written request, no payment arrangements will be made, and the bill will be due in full by the assigned shut-off date. Customer has been sent notice. The utility clerk has, it basically, this is very vague information.
Well, but if you scroll down a little further, under 50.48, final disconnection and deposit, if you scroll down to section D, leaks and adjustments, in the event a customer has a reported water leak, town utilities will provide an adjustment to the sewer portion of the utility bill. All adjustments will follow guidelines stated in section 50.05. Owners and or tenants must provide documentation of the location or repair of the leak. Absolutely no adjustments will be made to the water portion of the utility bill. So we can't adjust, but we can do the payment plan. And they do have a right to appeal to the town council.
Well, then, it's my opinion, they owe the money.
Yeah.
If the town has approved, it's not on our end. So I will go back to my original motion. We put them on a 6-month payment plan and average that over the 6 months for the 4,900, whatever money it was.
Do you take their average bill and they can pay that portion and then the balance over the average, divided over 6 months?
My motion will be of this current bill of $4,979.62. We put them on a 6-month payment plan. You average that amount over 6 months in addition to their already current bill.
Okay.
What does that come to monthly?
Roughly, yeah, 49, 72, 62.
I'm just buying time as I'm skimming through this ordinance.
So that'd be $828 a month plus their pre-existing bill.
You mean plus whatever they accrue?
Plus whatever their bill is going to be. So they pay $828.77 plus whatever their bill for the next 6 months.
And Bryce, on that, did that number that you have there, I believe that the number I gave you may have been pre-minus the penalties? Because we did adjust the penalties.
See, I printed it off today, and the balance that I have on their account currently is $4,203.99.
Oh, no, the balance doesn't.
So it would be even less than that.
So then I will adjust my motion.
What is the balance, Kelly?
It looks like it's $4,203.99.
So I will adjust my motion to the adjusted amount less penalties, that we will average the $4,203.99 over the next 6 months on the payment plan, but they will also still be responsible for their monthly fees.
Does anybody anybody have any other motions? If not, does somebody want to second Bryce's motion?
Second.
Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
I vote no. The ayes win. Okay, that brings us to Town Boards 2024. What do we have left? Kelly, do you have that quick, or that handy as far as what positions?
Yes, the only two appointments that are still vacant is one position for the Stormwater Board, that's a town council president appointment, and a redevelopment authority board vacancy, which is also a town council president.
So we had Bob Anderson, who currently occupies a stormwater position, right? And we haven't heard from him. Okay. And then the redevelopment commission,
This is redevelopment authority board.
I'm sorry, authority is to replace Scott Bailey.
Correct.
Okay. If anybody is in interest or is interested in either one of those positions, please reach out to myself or Kelly. And we will go from there on those two. All right, brings us to Market Street. Several months ago, I was approached by Cloverdale Community School Corporation, some administrators on behalf of the corporation, in regards to renaming Market Street. At that time, I kind of loosely ran it by council and to get their feedback, and I went back to Cloverdale Community School Corporation, and they, with the council's feedback, and after meeting with them for a second time, they have asked the town council for approval to rename Market Street. When I say Market Street, I'm talking about from the intersection Main Street, going all the way into the parking lot of the high school, renaming that Kylie Way. After a longtime teacher, after a longtime coach, after a longtime community member who has done great things for this community. If you are from here, you know who I'm talking about. So I'm doing my due diligence on behalf of the corporation, bringing it to the council's attention, asking if they would like to rename that section of Market Street Kylie Way. I have spoke to Jason about this. It's very inexpensive, kind of an easy process actually to do. It's up to you guys. I will open it up at this time. I gave my spiel on behalf of the school corporation.
So my opinion is that the school corporation has came to us wanting to do that, to say thank you to someone that served the community, giving 3 blocks for how many years of service?
40.
For 40 years of service is a pretty cheap thing to do. So I will make a motion to rename that portion of Market Street to Kylie Way.
I second that.
Okay. All in favor? Yes.
Is this an actual name change or just like a ceremonial?
It is an actual name change.
Has you had any feedback from the businesses along that way and any impact
So-
that will have on them?
I haven't, and I did advise council that that's probably where the negative, if there's any, might be a couple of businesses there. But in my opinion, we're not asking them to do a whole lot. They're just changing their address. Yeah.
Changing their address and logging into Google for 1 second.
We will need to do a.
There-
Change.
There will have to be one in January.
Okay,
Yeah. This is just to get the ball,
gotcha.
first of all, make sure council wants to go this direction, and if so, then to get the ball rolling.
Okay, so we haven't changed anything yet?
Nope.
Okay.
I'll stick by my original motion.
I second that.
Okay, all in favor? Aye. And one nay. All right, this brings us to the 2024 meeting schedule. And I think Kelly sent one email in relation to that this afternoon, possibly, did you?
I don't think so, but it isn't the meeting scheduled for next year, it's the council meetings.
Maybe you sent it over something else, I apologize.
I'm thinking maybe I did, just don't remember.
Next Friday, the 22nd, didn't you say that was? Doesn't matter. Any questions for the 2024 schedule? If not, looking for approval, let's start with a motion.
Motion.
Thank you. Second? All in favor? Aye. Okay, this brings us to the UDO. I have asked James McKee to come and speak about this UDO. So James, floor is
I
yours.
don't know about the full UDO.
Enlighten us with what you can.
So, just so everybody's aware, I am on planning and BZA board. I've attended the county-sponsored training for planning and BZA. I've attended at least a couple of the UDO meetings, so I'm not coming up here uninformed. I'm also not up here actually representing planning or BZA at the moment. I am here as a citizen.
I'm going to elaborate too. Council, this is for informational purposes only. Nothing will be voted on tonight. So if you have questions, please ask James. If he doesn't know the answer, maybe Jason does. If not, we'll definitely get answers.
So, with the UDO, it's the planning, the county's going under a uniform planning and zoning. So all of our coding will be under the uniform across. There's a proposal for us to give take our administrative stuff and do that through the county. So what that's going to, hold on, let me back up. So the planning commission for the town or the county, the primary duties are to approve comprehensive plan, consider development plans, consider primary plats for subdivisions, zone map change recommendations, zoning subdivision ordinance, and PUD recommendations. What this UDO is going to do, if we were to give up the administrative duties, which is your building permits, building inspections, and that kind of stuff, that would also give the county control over the comprehensive plan, zoning, subdivision ordinance, and PUD uniforms to make it, keep it uniform, make it uniform. Just make building codes and inspections easier throughout. It'll also give them development plan scrutinization and review of the primary plats for the subdivision. Leaving Cloverdale Planning Commission, basically the remaining duty would be the zoning map changes, which would need to be approved by town council anyway. So what I appear recommending is that Cloverdale give up their planning commission and go with the county on the area planning commission. For a couple reasons. The Cloverdale Planning Commission would have basically nothing to do if we go with the UDO. Outside the zone map changes, which you guys approved. If we went with the Area Plan Commission, they would make recommendations on zoning changes, but the town council would still have the final approval on any changes in the town limits. Also, if we went with the Area Plan Commission, we would have a guaranteed seat on the Area Plan Commission board. which means we could have influence on, or at least a say, on what happens outside of our town borders. So,
Keep in mind, the area plan commission makes a recommendation to, so that if someone goes in front of the area plan commission to rezone the lot next door, the area plan commission will make a recommendation to the town council board, favorable, unfavorable, or no opinion, and ultimately it's up to your decision. But he's right, you will have one or two spots, just one.
guaranteed one.
How big's the board gonna be?
It's a 9-member board.
Okay.
Based on our town size, we would be guaranteed one seat. That's not saying we couldn't get a second person on there because it is the county appointed. So.
How many would Greencastle have?
Greencastle will not be participating, as far as I know, in the area plan commission. They will keep their own planning, they'll keep their own BZA. I am not recommending we give up our BZA either. I would say we keep our
Is
BZA.
that what you're hearing?
I was gonna say, you approved to keep your BZA, that was part of.
No, as far as Greencastle, is that what you're hearing as
That's
well?
what I've heard.
Yeah.
My only concern is from looking into it, there's three options we basically have, right?
Mhm.
My strong opinion is it is just like when the town gave up their convention and visitors bureau, pretty much. The town has how many seats? Greencastle controls it all. That committee is funded strictly by the innkeeper's tax in this county. How that county is probably 95% funded is the town of Cloverdale. The town of Cloverdale receives $0 from the convention and visitors bureau, and that's my main goal of getting on it. It's asinine, and you can put that in the paper. So, I want to make sure if we go down this loophole, it doesn't come back to just that. The same thing. Like where Greencastle has 5, we have 1, and they control anything we want to do.
If we were to go with the area planning commission, give up our planning commission and go with the area plan, the town council will have the opportunity to appoint one seat member, 1 of 9, and those 9 are, from all out the county, so.
So each township, the commissioners would get one.
Well, that's what I want to make sure,
Mhm.
because if we go the same route the visitors bureau is went, where Greencastle controls everything.
I believe Greencastle's adjusting their ordinances to align with the county or something like that, but they are not going to participate as far as I am aware.
Okay. Well, I just, like,
Greencastle has nothing to play at all.
okay.
Yeah.
They're not involved in.
So we would be the biggest municipality participating in the area planning commission at that point.
And that is great. And I will sit on my soapbox as long as I can. And I've got the microphone, so you'll have to listen. Our Visitors Bureau in Putnam County has now rejected 2 times to get a world championship horse show moved here because they would not give us $0. And one of them wanted to move from the fairgrounds of Tulsa, Oklahoma. One of them wanted to move the fairgrounds of Fort Worth, Texas, to come to Cloverdale, Indiana. The reason they didn't move is because both of those towns gave them $30,000. Our Convention and Visitors Bureau and Eric Freeman sat in my office and said, we will not give you nothing. So, while I have this, I will sit on my soapbox as long as I can. So, if the town of Greencastle has the majority of it, I want no part of it. If it is municipalities like Cloverdale, I'm all about it, because they care about actually what's going on in small town. So, that's my piece.
Thank you. Noted.
So, like I said, with a seat, having a seat on there, we would actually have at least a voice at the table. Probably wouldn't be a majority, but anything that happens on the edges of town, we would at least have say yay, nay, or what we want. When they go to the area plan commission, all municipalities lose their 2-mile fringe, even Greencastle. So even if we had the 2-mile fringe, we would have lost it. So if we go with the area plan, at least then we have a voice and a seat at the table and a vote at the table on what would happen around our borders and the southern part of the county, which would impact us the most.
But in that case also, the commissioners would make the final decision, similar to what the town council would do here. In an area plan, ultimately it's an advisory commission to the county commissioners. But it does give, he's correct, it does give a voice at least.
And you have an idea what's going on.
And not, like I said,
It's a good one to be
that's
part
good
of.
with me.
Yeah.
It's, if, it's like the others that practically go, Greencastle says goes, is mine.
Like I said, I'm not here as part of the planning of BZA, but I am part of it, and if I had the opportunity, I would bring this up to their board, those boards, and have them see if they would second it, but
Correct me if I'm wrong, when you and I met, and I could have just wrote this down, if council moves forward with joining this county effort, the head of our BZA, is that who we would have to recommend or appoint to be the representative for the town?
so whoever you would appoint to the area plan commission would also sit on the BZA in place of the Cloverdale Planning Commission seat.
But it wouldn't have to be the president of our BZA.
No,
Okay.
no. So right now, your Cloverdale board or commission has one seat on the BZA. So that would just be replaced with whoever is the representative on the area plan commission.
That council appointed.
Mhm.
No. Are there any questions for James? So I will just kind of elaborate here real quick. In your packets, you have 3 potential ordinances. This will, we are waiting on Russellville, I think it is,
It's either Rochelle or Russellville.
one of those 2 towns, to vote, and this, I think, comes to fruition. So council, you have 3 potential ordinances in your packets, along with the proposed zoning map. I ask that you take time to review all 3 ordinances and the map prior to the January meeting, because this will be on the agenda for council action.
And this, what I'm suggesting doesn't actually need to be approved in January. It'd be nice so we could transition everything. But this could be done anytime after the UDO is done, but.
And I will elaborate a little bit. If council decides or elects to partake in this, we can always withdraw at any time. That is an option as well. So please keep that in mind when you're reviewing these. Okay. Thank you very much for coming in. Richard?
Thank you, Mr. President. And 3 years ago, when I was following you, there was only one here on that call. I indicated to him in our discussions that I would keep my fees the same for 3 years. And, well, it's been 3 years. And tonight I'm asking for the hourly rate to go from 175 to 200. If you feel more comfortable going higher, that's fine, but 200 is what I'm requesting.
Are we going for another 3 years at that proposed rate?
I would like to just go for 1 year to see how it goes.
2?
I'll give you 2, Mr. President.
So you're proposing 2 years at the new rate of 200?
Yeah.
Motion.
Second.
We haven't talked about the other items. Emails, is that rate changing?
It's all the same. Again, I will increase it. If you want me to increase it, I don't intend to argue with the board president.
I think our second was Larry, right? All in favor? Aye.
Thank you very much.
We expect Christmas cards, something.
You should have already got that.
After that, like, I was hoping I could make somebody really upset.
Nice auto.
Anything from Stardust HOA? No, sir? Open it up to the public for general comments, questions, concerns? Yes, sir.
Do we have any money in the K-9?
Great question.
Small amount.
Do you want an actual number?
Just want to make sure it's not mostly funded by the town.
Kelly?
I don't know how much money in the canine fund.
Roughly.
Not the K-9 fund, but the K-9 that's leading. Do we have any money in that?
I thought you were talking about the canine fund.
I did
The
too.
canine
No,
that lead,
no,
canine that's leading was not ours.
It's not ours?
No, we
didn't
leased
have
it.
any
we
money
leased it for
to-
$1.
It was $1.
And it cost the insurance, which the insurance has lapsed. So we
Okay,
haven't-
I just want to make sure we didn't have any money in it.
No, after we had to retire Argo, Sam had his own dog trained, and we just basically leased him for nothing.
The equipment has been purchased, but it all belongs to the town.
Yeah.
Sorry, I thought, again, you were talking about the canine fund.
No.
Okay. Anybody else? All right, let's call this meeting adjourned. Council, if you could sit tight.